This video is on how to pickle beets. Hi guys, so today we're going to be learning how to make pickled beets. I actually think that this way of making it is actually quite simple compared to a lot of other ways. I hope you think it's easy too. So first, before we do anything that has to do with pickling, what we have to do is grab our jars and we have to clean them in the water first, and so you don't get it like you're pickling wrecked. So first, what we have to do is we have to get the pickled beets. You want to keep on the leaves and stuff and this piece, because if you cut them off, then as it's boiling, it will suck out all the juice. So all it tastes like is a dried, tasteless thing, and you don't want that. So you have to put them in the water, fill it all the way to the top. It doesn't really matter how much water there is, it just make sure it's full, and you put them to a boil. When you've got them to a boil, cook them for 15 to 25 minutes, and then you put them into a strainer in the sink, and then I will tell you what to do next. Make sure before you do any of the beets, you should wash your jars and your lids and everything, so make sure they're clean, and then leave them at room temperature, so then because you have to boil them into the water, but you don't want them to be come from a cooler or down in the cellar, or else once they hit the water they will break. And so you want to boil these to sterilize them, and and to keep them warm, so when you put the pickled beets and stuff into them, then they won't crack, because since the pickled beets will be warmer than them. And once you're finished, move them over to someplace dry and ready for them. So what we have to do is to make a type of vinegar syrup stuff. So what you do is you put it just depends on how much you're making. We're going to be putting because you have to use sugar and vinegar. You have to use the same amount of sugar that you do as vinegar. But if you want less of a strong of a taste, then put 25% more sugar than you do with the vinegar. So let's say you're using 4 cups of vinegar, then you would do 5 cups of sugar. If you didn't want it to be as strong, if you just want it to be the same strength, just put 4 cups of sugar. And this will give you your syrup, and you cook it over a stove as you mix it. We're doing 5 because we like sweeter pickles, and so at the moment also we left the pot with the beets in the water off to the side at the moment as we're doing this, so I suggest you do the same. So what we do before we touch the beets is we put a little bit of salt in each jar. My dad likes to put at least 1/4 teaspoon of salt in each. My dad is now finished putting 1/4 teaspoon in each, and the reason for doing this is it kind of gives it a little bit of a tart, a sour taste. It's actually quite nice.
Counters the sweet, but not adding more acidity.
So now we are straining the beets. And now what you want to do is you just want to rinse them a bit with water just to cool them down enough that you can handle them with your hands. And then you want to peel the skin. And then so you can slice them up. So now my dad is peeling the beets, and once you peel them, he's showing that you just cut them and cut a line in it, and then you just peel it off. And then once you do that, you slice them up, however you want. It just depends on you. And then you want to put them into the jars. So I have cooked this until it, you should cook this until it is clear. That means that the sugar has melted in with the vinegar. I cook this at medium-high on my stove, but it would depend from stove to stove. And you don't want it to go to a boil, you just want it thoroughly mixed and, warmed up. Next, what you have to do is just cut up the the beets as shown. Well, you can cut them up any way you like. And if you have small ones, just drop them in whole. And then you should fill the jars up 3/4 of the way full. And then you fill the beet jars with the vinegar/sugar syrup. And it should look like this. And you still want it to be hot when you put it in to the jars, because afterwards you'll be boiling the jars. Oh, and make sure you fill it 1/2 inch from the top, so like it's not too full and not too. We kind of put it a little bit bigger, but yeah. So now, next you want to prepare a pot, fill it up with water, and get it ready to boil. So, because you're going to be putting your pickled beets in it. Then, while that's getting ready to boil, you put on the lids of the jars, and you don't do them too tight because you want the extra air to escape. But make sure there's nice and snug, and that it doesn't turn or twist. Next, you want to put, after it is boiling, the jars into the water. But carefully, you don't want to put them in too fast or they'll break. Next, you want to leave them in there for about 30 minutes, and the vibrating is okay because it's boiling. And if you have a pickling book nearby, I suggest you look at it just in case, because being above or below sea level actually has something to do with it. We're 60 feet above sea level, so it doesn't have anything to do with us, but you should check anyway. It depends how high up you are above sea level, and if you're like higher, it might have to change the time you have to boil it for. You have to remember when you take them out to twist the lids, and it is really hot, so I would suggest using a cloth to twist it, and then you just wait, you let them cool down, and wait for the upper lids to pop down, and that means that they've sealed. So, I hope you've enjoyed. All you have to do, after that, is just label it and, well, let it cool, and then you can put it in your fridge or put it wherever, and it will, you've got yourself some pickled beets. And I want to remind you to sterilize your jars, because you don't know where it's been. It might say made in China or something, but someone who've been working at the jar place could be sick, and there could be dust, and it could be really not sterile there, and so you don't really know what happened exactly to your jars. So I suggest you sterilize them, because then you know you're safe. And, I hope you like this video. Subscribe if you want to see more of cooking and stuff like that. And, see you in another guy's video. Bye.